presentation. But here we are. It is Thursday, the 4th of March, 2021. Nice to see you all. This is the Blam Partners Discovery session here with quite an international crowd. Great to see you guys. I really appreciate you spending some time with us today. The presentation will probably take about 55-ish minutes. Oh, guys, and if you're watching this on the recording, thank you very much for watching. There will be an opportunity to ask questions in the comments below. If you're watching this live, yeah, I'm going to go in the background and I'll be moderating the chat on the side, okay? So feel free to chime in with any questions that you got. Grant will take over for the presentation, which will probably take us to the top of the hour. And then we will open up for a Q&A if you want to stick around. Well, I'm super excited. We're super energized, and to present this to you because we believe we have an amazing future, not only with the Blam Partnership Program, but if you choose to get into digital marketing of any kind, I don't think you'll regret it. So, but that's enough for me. Look forward to speaking to you in the Q&A afterwards. Really appreciate you spending a bit of time with us here today. And if you like it, great. Well, hopefully we'll set up another call in the not too distant future. But for now, just enjoy the presentation. Do you want to kick off, Grant?
I do. And thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks, Ed, for the intro. Welcome. And yeah, I'm not going to say good afternoon or good evening because we've got quite an international crowd and it will be different depending on where you are. But yeah, my name's Grant and my job today is to present to you information in and around digital marketing, how to set up your own digital marketing agency, some of the tricks that we've learned along the way to try and help you avoid some of the headaches, to help you achieve success quicker. And if you like what we're saying, if you like the sound of the Blam Partnership Program, there'll be an opportunity to have what we call a deep dive with Ed, and he will start giving you some more detail and help you have a look at how you could potentially work with us in the future. But for now, guys, my goal really is just try and give you some value, help inspire and motivate you, and let's see where we go from there, shall we? Now, if you just give me a sec, I've got a new laptop. So I am a little bit slower to sort myself out. And I'm sorry, Ed, I still haven't got the Blamjet as my screensaver.
Well, I was kind of hoping, can you see my background?
I can. What we got?
We got the Blam mug.
Oh, the mug in the background got you. Yeah, you've gone all, you're quite small on my screen at the moment. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll finish mine. There we go. I've got mine in the. We are blammed up, baby.
We love a bit of merch.
Okay.
We love a bit of merch.
Love a bit of merch.
I was given another mug by one of our partners. He's
yeah. Mine turned up today.
Did you?
Mine turned up today. Yeah, I haven't opened it yet, but yeah, one of our partners has been sending us little presents in the post. Not sure we should be divulging what the initials stand for.
But I think Andrew wants to tell you the story himself, by the way. So just pretend that I didn't. Just pretend I didn't tell you.
Brilliant. So, guys, without further ado, welcome to the Blam Partners presentation. And do you know what, guys? It would be remiss of me not to point out, first and foremost, that from when we first used to do these presentations, quite a lot has changed. In fact, it was near enough a year ago, wasn't it, to the day that we started realizing that the world is a bit of a different place. But I don't think any of us could have anticipated that we'd still be in, this global pandemic, and that so much has changed. Because it's not just now that we're dealing with these kind of scenarios. This looks like it's going to be a long-term scenario for us right now. The whole the new social distancing and the way that we are going about business. And I bet as a result of everything that's gone on, you're wondering, how can you secure your future in what appears to be quite an uncertain world right now? And the first thing I want to say, guys, is look, don't worry. You've already identified that digital is the way that you can secure your future. That digital marketing is a huge growth area, and the reason you're on this presentation is because you would have, been connected with us in one way or another, where we are promoting the idea of running your own digital marketing agency. And right now, and since this pandemic, the only way that businesses can actually grow their business is leveraging the power of digital. Without digital, they haven't got a business. And this is good and bad news. The bad news is, we say this with some sensitivity, because lots of businesses have suffered during the pandemic, and we feel desperately for them, because our whole world is about helping small businesses. That's what we do. And seeing businesses struggle is painful. But on the other hand, we've helped so many of them. The pandemic for us, despite all of the the sadness and the stuff that we've had to deal with, from a business perspective, it's actually never been better. We saw huge growth in 2020 for both our partners and ourselves on a whole. We get a really clear indication of the zeitgeist of what's going on in the world, and on the planet in general, because we deal with so many small businesses, and businesses have been forced to use digital marketing in a lot of cases where other times they kept putting it off. And because their customers, so people like you and me, are now using, we're purchasing stuff online, we're using apps to order stuff. As we come out of lockdowns and we're still having to use social distancing, we're using apps to order our food, our takeaways. We are ordering stuff when we're in the pub or the coffee shop. Technology is now in the palm of our hands. It's never been more important. And there's some crazy statistics that we've seen published as a result of what's happened in the pandemic. And during the first 90 days of the original lockdown a year ago, we saw an acceleration into the future in terms of the usage of our digital tools that is 10 years worth of growth in 90 days, which is kind of understandable, isn't it? Because we didn't have a choice. We did not have a choice, and small businesses were in danger of falling behind unless they grasped it. And so as a result of that, we saw that the Blam partnership and the Blam partners really have had a great trading year, because we were already doing this. We were already showing people how they could leverage the power of technology to grow their business, and we had a business model that actually fitted perfectly with the scenario that we're in. And as a result of that, we hit the ground running. This time last year, we went into, maniac mode. We really did, because we knew that we could help people. We knew that the tools that we had were going to help small businesses trade through the lockdowns that were to come. And now, as we start to come out the other side of it, we don't have to convince people anymore how important it is. So the one thing I just wanted to point out, though, is that even though we saw huge growth last year, there were a lot of people in digital marketing that didn't see huge growth. There were lots of digital agencies that had to furlough their staff, and some of them even went out of business, using the pandemic and the trading environment as an excuse for the reason why that happened. Well, that didn't happen to us, guys. We doubled our profits last year. And I don't say that to show off. I say that to say because there was a reason for that. And I want to share with you that reason now, in the hope that it can help you understand how running a digital marketing agency, if you do it the way we do it, works. But if you try and do it the conventional way, you could end up being like all the other businesses that struggled during the pandemic. So let's give you a little bit of a back history first, and let's start by talking a little bit about my background. And back in 2001, there was another recession back then. I set up my first digital agency, and that was when digital agencies weren't even a thing. Digital Art Marketing was the name of my business, and that business was geared around helping big businesses, blue chip businesses. That was my goal. And I thought, I had the sort of agency digital marketing thing sus, because these guys came to me for help with things like mini websites, email marketing campaigns, digital photography. I used to do conventional brochures and leaflets and all that kind of stuff as well. And I would price up a job, quote the job. I'd win the order. I'd go and pick up the job from the company, dealing with the marketing department, bring it back to my team. My team would produce the job. We'd then deliver it. We'd invoice it, and then we'd wait 30 to 60 days to get paid. And we did that over and over again. And that was the way we do business. That, by the way, is the way most digital agencies still do business. That is a conventional way to do business. And I thought, you know what? I thought I had it sussed. I thought, I had all the accoutrements of success, the nice car, the nice offices, the cool, staff, and things were looking good and things were growing. But then I realized I'd made a big mistake. I'd put all my eggs into one basket, and let me explain why, guys. And it all started with this. And some of you may remember the 2008 recession. It went on for quite a few years. It was a doozy of a recession, no question. And however, it left a massive gaping hole in my revenue. And let me explain why. So my business model, which was based on every month I was back to zero. Every month I had to get the sales in, and my team had to get the sales in, and we had to produce the work and invoice the work in order to keep moving forward, to pay the salaries, pay the rent, pay my wages, and all the stuff that came with it. And the overheads were high. We had a great business that was in growth, and we were scaling up. When the recession hit, as with all recessions, businesses reassess their outgoings, they reassess their finances, and most of them hunker down, cut costs, and wait it out, wait to see what's going to happen. And that's what happened with my clients. And so as a result of that, when I got to beginning of the month and I start, seeing, right, what's coming up, what work am I going to get? And then the people aren't placing work, these big businesses that I work for, my revenue takes a nosedive. And I've got nothing to fall back on. And more people started hunkering down and, holding back on spending. Marketing budgets declined. This is common in a recession. And my business took a nosedive too. And it was really tough, guys, I've got to tell you. I had to sell my fancy car. I had to make what were my best friends that worked for me, I had to make them redundant. I had to go without a salary for months. And do you know what? It was awful. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and it was the first time I'd really experienced failure. And it was tough. And I hung on to that business by the skin of my teeth. But I came away with some serious scars. I got to tell you, it was tough. But as I started sort of picking up the pieces and assessing, what had gone wrong, this is what I found out, guys. And it's important for you to realize this. There have been 34 recessions since 1854. So that big recession back then, what they called the economic bust, the big downturn, as they call it, was just one in a series of recessions. We're in a recession right now, guys, as we're well aware, caused by a pandemic. Double dip recession, this one, it's going up and down, but we're going to come out of it. But we were due a recession anyway. And what I realized was, if I did not have a business model that could account for a recession, then I've got no right to call myself an entrepreneur. I've got no right to call myself a business person, because recessions are going to come. We're in a recession now. We're going to come out of this recession. There'll be a boom, and then there'll be another recession 10 to 15 years time, if not before. That's the way it goes, guys. So a business model needs to allow for this. And so that's what I did. I sort of said, right, I've got to change the way that I do things. The first thing I did was I looked at the businesses that were successful in a recession. And there was a guy who was a client of mine, and he came to me and he said, during the beginning of the recession, he said, Grant, what I'd like to do is double my marketing spend. Double my marketing spend. I said, Martin, that's awesome. But why would you want to do that? Everybody else is reducing their marketing spend. He said, well, Grant, let me tell you what happens. I've been through a few recessions. I've been running a business for many years now. And every time we go into a recession, my competition reduce their budgets. They hunker down and they wait it out. What I'm going to do is double my spend on marketing, and I'm going to mop up all of their customers whilst they're not spending. And when we come out of the recession, I'm going to end up being on top. I'm going to end up with all of their customers. And that's what he did. And at the end of the recession, when people started spending again, when we came out of the recession, his business was on top, and he sold it a couple of years after that. And he'd actually expanded, not contracted, during a recession. And this is the trait of lots of business. I mean, let's think about what's gone on during the recession that we're in at the moment, during the pandemic. Don't get me wrong, it's been exceptional circumstances that have caused the recession, but it's still part of the economic cycle, and it's just been compressed because of the pandemic. Still the same things happened. So during the recession, we've seen certain businesses absolutely smash it. We've been one of them. We've benefited from the recession. But think about, supermarkets, home delivery companies. Funny one I heard about was jacuzzi companies delivering jacuzzis to people's back gardens. Absolutely smashed it. Here in the UK, we saw a lot of farm shops and sort of out of town sort of garden centres and things like that do really, really well. There's been a resurgence for local traditional sort of butchers and greengrocers. All these kind of businesses have leveraged the opportunity of the recession, and they've expanded rather than contracted. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a business that could do that in a recession. So not only could we be excited about, being in normal trading era, but when it comes to a recession, I want a business that gets really, sees the opportunity in a recession. And that is why when we started at the beginning of this recession, the beginning of the lockdown, we went into absolutely hyper growth mode, because the opportunity, it was almost like it was what we've been waiting for, because we knew so many businesses were going to contract, and that would give us massive opportunity. And so I did this before at the end of the last recession, and I built a business selling mobile apps, and I completely changed my business model. I went after smaller businesses rather than bigger businesses. I sold hundreds of mobile apps to small businesses, and I sold them a product that was a small monthly fee. So I knew that when we hit a recession, if some of them cancelled, it wouldn't matter, because I had hundreds of them, but also because I was only asking for a small monthly fee, they were less likely to cancel because it wouldn't have been a huge overhead for them. And that business went really, really well. I franchised it in 2012. It was the fastest selling franchise in the UK in 2012. And then I also took it overseas to Ireland and Germany, and really learned a lot with that business. And that business is actually the foundation of Blam. And that's where Blam really kind of started with its business model. But whilst we were actually running that business, the thing that I was really shocked to find out about was that small businesses, the new marketplace that I was dealing with, having previously dealt with, marketing departments of big blue chip companies, small business owners, they didn't have the technical knowledge to understand their own marketing. And we were selling them a sophisticated mobile app that was a really cool marketing tool for them, but they didn't really know how to use it. And this was a shock to me. And so I said to my team, guys, we've got all these small business customers now. How can we help them by giving them, what we want to do is give them a website that's got all the tech in it that we give to the big businesses? Because I know that a marketing campaign starts with a website. All roads lead to a website. You're going to check somebody out, figure out whether you like a business or search for a business. You're going to be looking for their website. That's where things start. And if that website has got the tech on it to help that website be effective, then small businesses have got a much better opportunity of being competitive against the big businesses. And so I said to my team, let's find a way of building a website for small businesses that is affordable to them, so that they can compete against the big businesses using all the tech that we are used to giving the big businesses. Of course, my team said, Grant, we charge £10,000, for at least for a website. How's a small business going to afford that? And I said, well, we've got to get it to under £1,000. Of course, that was a big, big ask, and they said it couldn't be done. And it took them a while. I've got to admit, it took them a while to figure it out. But of course, they got their guys. And it was November 2013 when I first sat with Carl, my lead designer, in front of that laptop on a dark November night. And he said, Grant, what do you think of this? And he showed me a website And he said, we can do these for less than £1,000. It's got all the tech that you wanted. What do you think? And for me, guys, that was my epiphany moment. You know, that was the send shivers down my spine every time I remember it, because that really is what Blam websites is today. That was the start of it. We've come a long, long way since then, but that was the beginning for me of the AI website revolution, the artificial intelligent website revolution. And artificial intelligence is a buzzword at the moment. You know, we're all talking about artificial intelligence and how we can leverage it. And really, it's a very simple thing. It's nowhere near as complicated as it sounds. And it's been around for a long time in websites. It's just that small business owners don't get the opportunity to leverage the power of it. You go onto, you know, your Amazons or your Google or your eBays and all these kind of big business websites, and they'll have AI built into them. Absolutely no question. Have done for years. Small business owners don't get access to the technology. So we built our websites based on leveraging this technology so that every single small business owner could have it. And the reason they'd need it is because it's going to get them more conversions. More customers will end up coming their way as a result of having this on their website. So it's a really important thing for us because websites are the core of what we do. However, there's another important reason why an AI website is a core thing about what we do. It's because it gives us a unique selling point. So I'm betting that you haven't heard a small business website developer say that they are an AI website developer. And you won't hear that, guys, because nobody else says that. And that means that when a Blam partner speaks to a customer, they put themselves in a very unique position because they've got a product that nobody else is talking about, a product that's actually really sexy and gets results. Now, that means that we are, in marketing terms, we're swimming in a blue ocean. That means we're a shark swimming in a blue ocean. All the fish are ours, to ourselves. We've got no competition, and that makes life good. Whereas all the website developers, the marketers, the digital marketers, they're in the red ocean fighting over the same fish. They're in that category with all the others. Whereas we're in a category of one, the AI website guys. And that, for us, helps us get more sales. So what I want to do, guys, is just explain to you, just bear me a sec. Sorry about that. I just had to turn my heater off. I'm starting to overheat. So that means that with these AI websites, I'm going to explain to you exactly how they work and why they're so cool, so that you can understand the power of the USP. And also, if becoming a Blam partner is exciting and something you want to look at, then we can talk more about the AI websites in the deep dive with Ed. Now, Ed's going to put in a little link, by the way, in the chat. And feel free to ask him any questions as we're going through this presentation. In that chat will be a link that takes you to his diary where you can book an appointment with him, and he'll be happy to do a deep dive with you. Takes, you know, sort of half an hour plus to go through some of the technical stuff and just find out whether a Blam partner or becoming a Blam partner could be of help or use to you, or something that you've got an interest in. We'd love to hear from you and take you to that next step if any of this is sounding exciting to you. But let me tell you about AI websites first and foremost, guys. And the first thing that an AI website does is it tracks the number of visits. So quite simply, if you visit an AI website, you can add a trigger to it so that as a first-time visitor, you can get a unique message. You only see it once the first time you visit that acknowledges that you're a first-time visitor. So welcome, hey, you're a first-time visitor. Why not check out the video from our CEO or our latest spring deal or whatever it might be, the marketing message that's appropriate to that business. Because as human beings, we like to be recognized, and from our unique position, we're more likely to engage with that website if we're told, hey, you're a first-time visitor. It's just human nature. This stuff works. We can also do a third-time visitor, hey, welcome back, you know, or anything in between. So that number of visits is a very simple tool that we use to get people's attention, to reduce the bounce rate, as we call it. The bounce rate is when somebody lands on a website and then just leaves. Get people to take action, and it works. And then we've got one of our favorite things, which is what we call themes, and they're based around a calendar. And this means that we can use little animations that are based around a calendar, so we can trigger them at different times of the year and day and whenever it might be. that are engaging because they're moving and seasonal and or around some kind of event. So the example of the snow is an obvious one. We do that at Christmas or winter time, depending where you are in the world. And anybody that visits the website knows that the website is current and pertinent. You could do that as well, combine it with a first-time visitor as well. So in other words, you only see it once as a first-time visitor. But then we've got loads of other little animations. So it could be the fireworks for a celebration like, Thanksgiving or, New Year's or Diwali or whatever it might be that's appropriate for you and where you are in the world. Or we can do things like Halloween. We can do hearts at Valentine's, which has a load of those in February. We've got leaves falling at autumn, and several others. And all of these are designed to get people's attention, to show them that the website is current, it's on point, and it delivers more engagement. That's what we're looking for, guys. We don't do this stuff for fun. This gets results. And then we can combine it with messages that are also based around a calendar. So for example, on that one, you can see it says half price website and free mobile app, which is one of the deals that we're running for partners for the Black Friday deal. But you can put that around a calendar as well. So the actual design of the website can change around a calendar as well. And from Blam Partners perspective, all they've got to do is brief it in. All they've got to do is brief in to let people know that they let our designers know rather on the brief what they want to appear when, and it gets done. Because the beauty of Blam is that our back office is a Blam Partners back office. So our partners don't need to be designers or developers. All they need to do is be marketing consultants, so they can help with the brief and then deliver the appropriate content to us, so that we can actually then do the design and the build and get it all working for them. So these themes, again, are proven to get results, as is geolocation. So last time we were in South Africa, which just seemed like a long time ago now. I can't wait to get back out traveling again, meeting all of our partners around the world. But it has been a while since we went to South Africa. But when we were there last, we were in Sandton, which is part of Johannesburg. While we were there, we did a free seminar, and anybody that visited our website during that period would see this message: welcome to Sandton. In other words, they would only see that website, that message, if they were in the Johannesburg area. If it was some other part of the world, they'd just see the normal website. So the geolocation means that we can target where somebody is and give them a unique message that is a location-based message. Now, we know people respond to local messages, and if we use the geolocation, we can get more engagement and get more return as a result. So a great way of doing this is recently we've been doing a lot for people that have got takeaways or restaurants that have been turned into takeaways due to the lockdown. So if somebody's in a local area, it will say, hey, we do deliveries now. Why not audio delivery, download the app, etc. And this means that we've got engagement from a local audience, and we're much more likely to get action. So another really cool thing. And then finally, we've got device detection, which again is something, it might seem really obvious, but do you know what? These phones that we browse the internet on all the time actually can make phone calls too. And we can encourage somebody to make a phone call by letting them know, just call us now, and they'll see that pop up when they're on a phone. So they won't necessarily see it if they are surfing normally, if they're on a desktop. But if they're on a phone, the website detects the fact that they're on a phone and encourages them to make a call. And all of these things, by the way, attract on a weekly email that goes out to our customers, letting them know how many actions have been taken, how the AI has actually been triggered, and how much benefit it's actually giving their business, which means really, really cool reporting, which means that they can really see the value in what they've purchased.
Sorry, Grant. Sorry, Grant. Sorry to interrupt. Just checking in, everybody. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to use the chat. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Got your flow. Have a cup of tea. Sip of tea.
Look at that.
There you go.
Girl power. I got.
Okay.
It says girl power. I got into trouble today because I couldn't find a mug and I had to use my wife's mug.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. But girl power, baby. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to
Hey, all
interrupt.
right, mate. No worries. So the AI website evolution is something we're very, very passionate about. What would be great, guys, if you want to find out more about AI websites, is to book in with Ed, and he'll give you a deep dive and show you a little bit more about how they work. But
Yeah.
for us at Blam, the AI websites, these things are our kind of foundation of what we sell, because becoming responsible for a business's website typically means that you get control of the rest of their marketing. And that's why we focus on websites, because they're kind of like the hub of the marketing. All roads lead to a website, and you earn trust by managing the website for somebody. So that's why we kind of put a lot of emphasis on it. There's loads of other stuff that we sell I'm going to talk about shortly, but the websites are kind of the foundation. But the way in which we sell those websites is also really important to the way in which we can find success. And that comes back to three little letters that made all the world of difference to my business way back when I was telling you about the journey that I'd been on before. It was these three letters that turned my business around and actually made me so much more secure and the business so much more secure. Can anybody tell me, by just using the chat, what MRR stands for? I'd love to know if somebody knows in the context of business. Now, we've had some good ones over the years of people that have given us some ideas. What's your favorite, Ed?
Oh, you know my favorite. It's the Midlands Ring Road.
That's a new one. I don't know your favorite. Well, clearly I don't.
Yeah, no.
My favorite hasn't changed. I'm not going to throw you a curveball. So
It's
maximum
good.
rock and roll, obviously.
Thanks, Isaac. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, I'm glad you find it interesting. But yeah, maximum rock and roll. Mothers really rock. Multiple
There we
Rolls
go.
Royces.
Yeah, and what is it? The Midlands Ring Road.
My revenue return. I like that one. It's close. It's
It's not
close.
bad. It's not
It's
bad at all.
but it's not quite. Thank you,
Not
Clara.
quite. Monthly recurring revenue,
Yeah.
which really is your revenue return, actually. So you're kind of right. Monthly recurring revenue is our mantra, guys. Because when you've got a monthly recurring revenue where you've got lots of customers that are all paying you, every month the money lands, it means that you can aim for the point where your business is running almost on autopilot, where you can wake up on the first day of the month without any fear that if you don't make a sale that month, you're not going to get paid, because the monthly recurring revenue is going to cover your basis. And that is a really, really powerful thing in business, guys. When your monthly recurring revenue is split over lots and lots of clients and they're all paying you a smaller amount of money, they're less likely to cancel. And you've got a really, really solid business model. And this is must have taken me nearly 10 years to figure this one out, guys. So I'm giving it to you for free right now, as the first place to do it, the first place to go, guys. Monthly recurring revenue. But that's not the only thing at Blam that we use in order to skew our business and grow our business. When it comes to selling websites, we do something quite unusual that is very much different to a lot of our competition. And it might be a bit confusing to you at first, because what would you think if I said to you that when we sell a website, we do not charge an upfront design fee? Now, this is absolutely typical of our competition. They'll charge, £1, £2, £3, £4,000. What would that be in your currency? Every design and development that they do, every design development of a website, they charge an upfront fee. We don't charge any upfront fee. What would you think if I said to you, we do not put our customers into a long contract, like a sort of 1-year contract? We just do a rolling service agreement, so no contract. What would that make you think? I bet you'd be wondering, well, how do you make money then? What if they cancel? Okay, well, let me tell you first and foremost why we do it. We do it because we get more sales, because we've got a process that we've refined that means that we remove the barriers to sale. So in other words, we give our partners a system and a process of selling websites and other marketing services that removes the barriers to sale, because we don't charge a large upfront fee, we don't tie people into a contract, and as a result, we make more sales. And guess what, guys? The monthly recurring revenue builds up and up and up, and it's really sticky. We don't need to put people in a contract, guys, because why would somebody want to cancel with us if we're giving them a fantastic service and a fantastic product? What incentive would they have to cancel? The only reason somebody wants to cancel is if they're not happy with the service or the price or something else about the product. Now, if that's the case, we should just let them go, shouldn't we? That would be the fair thing to do. Why tie somebody into a contract if they're not happy? So our view is, why bother? Why bother with a contract? And the truth is, guys, we're so confident with our service, our product, and our price that we get a very, very high retention rate. And anybody that wants to go, that is no problem. And you know what? Their gratitude would still be shown. So it's all about, for us, helping our partners understand that the model that we use is pretty unique here, guys. There's not many other people doing anything like this, which makes us stand apart, and ultimately it leads to more sales. And when you get more sales, you get more monthly recurring revenue, you get more monthly recurring revenue, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the sales process now, because getting more sales is sometimes easier said than done. And one of the things that will get in our way when it comes to the sales process is the perception of what we think about selling. So I've used that picture for a good reason, because many years ago when I started on my entrepreneurial journey,
Nice.
nice,
Lovely
right?
job,
You want to buy
Larry.
our website?
Website. SEO, get you to the top of Google.
There you go. That's exactly what he's saying there. Get you to the top of Google, and there's the O for Google. No problem. Have it done next week.
Yeah. Give us £1,000 and I'll get it done for you.
That's it. Yeah, no problem. A little bit of code, tip tap top of Google, no problem. So this guys is the perception that I had of selling was a guy like this, a good sort of 15 years ago. And in other words, my relationship with selling wasn't ideal, especially if I wanted to be in business, because my view was, do you know what? I don't want to be a salesperson. Salespeople are, slimy, dishonest, untrustworthy. They do whatever they can to make a sale. They'll sell their own grandmother, that kind of thing. And that's, just not a healthy relationship to have with selling. And let me tell you why, guys, because this is a statement. If you're going to write anything down on this presentation to take away with you, write this one down, okay? If you are in business, you're in sales. If you are in business, you are in sales. Now, if you're anything like I was when somebody first told me this, which was about 15 years ago, I said, no, I'm not. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a CEO. I'm a managing director. That's what I am. I didn't want to be tarred with that brush. So my coach, who I was talking to, said, well, okay, then fair enough, Mr. Big Businessman. Who do you want to be like then? Who is your guru? We're going back a while, guys. So I said, without any hesitation, Richard Branson and Steve Jobs, my two business heroes. Okay, said fair enough. They are awesome business people. So when Richard Branson is going around the world in a hot air balloon, when he is, dangling out of a helicopter on a bungee rope or crossing the Atlantic in a speedboat, do you think he's selling? Do you think he's a salesperson? Well, yeah, I guess he is, isn't he? Or when Steve Jobs is doing the new keynote speech when he's launching the iPhone or the iPad or the new, MacBook or whatever it might be, do you think he's selling? Well, of course they are, guys. In fact, Steve Jobs was probably the best on-stage salesperson there's ever been. It's just the truth is they were so good at selling, I didn't even realize I was being sold to. And that is the trick, guys, because if you are in business, you are in sales, but you've got to become professional at it because you've got to lead from the front. You need to learn how to sell first. And this is a rule that has never let me down. And dozens of super successful business people that I've met will agree with that statement, even to the extent of one guy I know is a very super successful billionaire as a salesperson, as far as he's concerned, a salesperson. This is a moment of truth for you guys. You must embrace that sentence. You must embrace it.
I have a
The trick
question.
is, oh yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
Yes. Do you have a marketing campaign so future clients can see a Blam and then you redirect it to us?
So the sales process is something that is very, very close to our hearts and something that we spend an awful lot of time working on. So as a Blam partner, when you join us, we put you on a program and a certification that I'm going to talk about shortly, that will show you exactly how to become successful with your own digital marketing agency. And if you book on the deep dive with Ed, he'll take you in a little bit more detail about that.
Absolutely. Thanks for that question. Really good question, Julian. But we go into a lot more detail. Yeah.
The sales side of our business is probably, right up there as one of the most important things that we need to do, because if you don't make sales, you haven't got a business. But so many people, if you leave them to their own devices, they will not sell appropriately, regardless. So, you could have a campaign that delivers loads of leads to you, but you won't convert the leads if you don't know how to sell. And that's why that sentence is so important, because, you've got to learn to sell first before you do anything else. And that's why a good bulk of what we do at Blam is help people become that sentence. But we do it by helping them not look, smell, taste, or sound like a salesperson. We don't want people to come across. So just like when Steve Jobs is selling from the stage, when he was doing that, you didn't notice you were being sold to. And that's what we need to teach our Blam partners, because if you want to be successful in business, then you need to get yourself a system, a sales system, and
So
you've got to follow it.
Marketing on different platforms.
Sorry.
We'll be able to do marketing on different platforms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. So
okay,
I'll
Julian,
talk in a bit more detail about that in a little while. So when we get
you came in a bit later. You came in a bit later, Julian, but we'll unmute the mics towards the end for a live Q&A. So if we just want to run the presentation, otherwise it can take a while. So if we run the presentation,
we do Q&As
to the top of the hour. Yeah, so it's probably to the top of the hour, another 15 minutes, Julian. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you follow that system, and in business, guys, the thing that I say to you is, regardless, if you're a Blam partner, no problem, we can give you that system. If you go into business on your own, get yourself a sales system. So just follow the guru. And the most important thing I always say is, what is most important is that you have a system rather than which system it is, because having a system is so important. And it took me a long time to figure this one out in business. It really did. And it changed everything for me when I did. It changed everything. So it's a really important one, guys. And I hope that, that hits home, because that's what we do now at Blam. We're doing this for 6 years now, the partnership program at Blam. Obviously, prior to that, we were selling websites and apps ourselves directly. But now we help other people grow their marketing business. We've been doing it for 6 years. Ed and I head it up. And in essence, what Blam is kind of your back office. So if you become a Blam partner, your job is to leverage the training and the certifications and all of the tools that we give you to go out and build relationships with small business owners in and around your area or further afield. There's no restriction on location. And using the tools that we give you, that you can then get yourself some customers, and then you send the briefs back to us, and we are your back office, your studio. We do all the design, the development, the tech support, the account management. We give you all the tools that you need to be able to do that so that you can focus on growing your business. And we are the engine behind it that makes sure that you've got the latest cutting edge tools, you've got all of the systems and processes, the marketing systems and advice, and everything that you need is provided by us so that you can focus on growing your business. And we've been doing this for 6 years now, guys. We absolutely love what we do. You know, we do these webinars 2 or 3 times a week to present to people live, to give people the opportunity to ask questions and, you know, find out more about us. But the rest of the time, we are full on helping our partners. That's what Ed and I do predominantly. You may have spoken to Alex. Alex is the guy that does all the sort of onboarding and helping with you guys in the early stages. But for us, it's full time helping our partners. We absolutely love it. We've got partners all over the world, and it's growing very rapidly as a result of what's going on as well in the world. I think that's only, you know, accelerated it. But in order to understand a bit more about what we do, a question that we need to ask is, what problem do we solve? And in our business, the problems that small and medium-sized businesses face that are our target audience when it comes to their marketing is that they haven't got the time to figure out how to do it because they don't understand it. They haven't got the knowledge and the skills, and they haven't got the money, because the digital marketing revolution is super fast-paced. It's always changing. It's now more important than ever. I mean, in the last, 12 months, it's just been ridiculous, the speed at which everything is accelerated. We're in a position to actually stay ahead of the curve, and then we filter that down to our partners so that our partners can focus on growing their business, and we take care of everything else in the back end. And that means we've got this really cool, relationship where we can do all the heavy lifting and our partners can focus on the business. And that's why it works really, really well. And that ties in with our mission at Blam, which is to be the world's biggest designer of websites and apps for small businesses. And the reason we've got that big audacious goal, guys, is because we've got such confidence in our key pillars of what we do, which, our products, our people, and the actual service that we provide. Because for us, that system works, and we need help to get it out there across the world. And that's why we've got the partnership program, because when a partner who is an entrepreneur has a business relationship with another entrepreneur, that's what we call a peer-to-peer relationship, where a small business owner who is a Blam partner is helping another small business owner, and that is the relationship that actually really gets results. And that's why we can't do it on our own. We need our partners who are motivated, entrepreneurial, and we give them the skills, the knowledge, and the tools to be able to go out and grow their business. So let me talk about these 3 pillars, and it starts with our first why, and that is our AI websites and our products. Really, it starts with websites which are future-proof, so they get updated every month. We have new updates, and that means that every single website that we have gets updated. It's a future-proof system. It's a big deal for websites. Most websites need what we call patches updating on them all the time. Our websites are done for you service. You don't need to worry about anything. Drag and drop editor is a big deal these days because people want to have control of their own website, and we give them control with a really easy to use editor. We will actually do all the updates for them if they would ask through our service and management system. But if they want to do it themselves, they can, and that's a big fear allayed if they know that. We offer all the tech support, so none of our partners need to be techie. They don't need to be designers. They don't need to know anything about coding or anything like that. We take care of the lot. And then everything is recorded in a dashboard, meaning that you can see all of your clients and everything all in one place. So you've got full transparency on everything you're doing. Amazon Web Servers, that's what AWS stands for, are super secure, very, very high uptime, meaning that everything's done for you again. All the certificates are on there, meaning there's no security issues. It's the best in the world, basically. If it's good enough for Amazon, it's good enough for us. There's loads more about the websites. As I've said a couple of times now, booking with Ed, he'll show you more. And while he's there, he'll show you the other stuff that we do as well. We've got a really cool app system. This strategy, again, is based around a monthly recurring revenue model. I've been selling apps and help at an app company since 2010. There's not a fat lot we don't know about apps at Blam, and we know exactly how to sell them and how they can benefit. We don't just, talk about stuff here from a textbook. Both Ed and I still make sales. We've still got customers because we use them as case studies so that we can constantly be training our partners and showing them how it's done. And that's really, really important to us. We're not one of these organizations that's just an education, that's never actually done it. I've been running digital agencies for 20 years, guys. So, we know a thing or two about what we're doing, and apps is something that's kind of in my blood. If you remember my story right at the beginning, it really is a big part of what we do, as well as Blam Social. So Blam Social, I could do a whole presentation on this, guys. It is such an awesome system. And it's a system to be able to deliver social
new
media
for 2021 and improving every week.
Every
That's
week.
some great feedback from Andrew. He's really happy.
Awesome. Andrew, our partner, Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, he's loving it. Yeah, I mean, we're getting some amazing results with this, because basically what it is a system whereby we'll post to multiple platforms using really high quality posts, so that written by very, very professional content writers using really nice graphics at a price that is affordable for clients, but where they get really good value. And it's a monthly recurring revenue model for Blam partners. And again, it's cutting edge using AI technology as well. Local SEO, which I've just been living and breathing for the last 2 weeks because we've just revamped all of our SEO packages. So search engine optimization. We've just launched it yesterday, actually, an absolute killer package for this that I just know we're going to be selling loads of. It's market leading. It undercuts the competition. It gives Blam partners an absolutely killer tool to be able to help their websites get ranking in Google and the other search engines. So all of this is part of what we do. There's loads of other stuff that we supply. We're a full service agency, effectively, guys, sitting there from day one for Blam partners to use. Find out more with a deep dive with Ed. And then secondly, we've got our processes, our second why, which is all about our systems and training, and everything is delivered through our certified partner program. Now, this is a really sophisticated system that means that you can do your training 24/7 by getting your own portal where you can do all the videos and watch them as many times as you like, showing how you can become a certified partner, but with all the training provided. There's an exam at the end, which we call the Blam exam. And when you've passed that exam, you become a certified partner. Not only that, guys, after all of that training and that real credibility that certified partner badge gives you, you can become a certified digital marketer, meaning that we actually deliver to every single Blam partner all of the digital marketer training. Now, for those of you that haven't heard of digital marketer, in the marketing universe, these guys are the best on the planet. When it comes to training, these courses are the only courses you're ever going to need when it comes to digital marketing. So when you join Blam, guys, you're never going to need to join another course, do another training course, do anything like that. Again, we provide the lot all wrapped up in these courses and our own courses, as well as the Blam Resource Center, which has got everything we've ever done, all the videos, all the training, all the hundreds of broadcasts that we've done. Everything is in there. You're going to be wanting for absolutely nothing in the partnership program, because we want our Blam partners to be the best trained partners, marketers on the planet. That's the idea. The Blam certified partner brand gives you the credibility, and it gives you the kudos of all this quality training that is second to none. And finally, we want to talk about our people, and none more so than your mentor, Mr. Edward van der Klein. And I want to just tell you a little bit about Ed, because you may have spoken to Ed already, but Ed's actually the guy that kind of helps with the onboarding when you first join us at Blam, so you get to know Ed really well. But he's not always been into digital marketing. He actually started in hospitality, where he ran one of the big restaurants in Disneyland Paris, and we're big fans of Disney and the ethos that they have in terms of their customer service, etc. But while he was there, he read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Absolutely recommended reading for anybody that's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, because Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote that book, said that if you want to be in business, you need to learn how to sell. And Ed took that to heart because he had the entrepreneurial itch. He wanted to be in business. So he ended up going straight in at the deep end. Fair play to you, Ed. Door-to-door sales. It doesn't get much worse than that, does it? A tough job by any standard, but he cut his teeth in sales by doing door-to-door sales. The only job he could get, having come from catering. But he built up his reputation. He built up his skills. He became a salesperson. He became a digital marketing salesperson and was running his own consultancy where he was a LinkedIn trainer and he had his own clients selling websites, etc. And that is when we met, when I introduced him to the Blam Partnership Program. And following a presentation not dissimilar to the one you guys are getting now, Ed joined us as a partner. So Ed handed over his hard-earned cash and became a Blam partner. And I'm delighted to say that he did, and he was very successful at it. And of course, as a successful partner, he became, well known in the group and the community, and he started speaking to other partners. Long story short, guys, he actually joined us at Blam Partners as a director in the business, as somebody who has been there and done it. This guy now, leading from the front, helps our partners with the early stages, because when you speak to Ed, you're speaking to somebody who's already been there and done it. He's already been a partner. And for me, I think that is, absolutely awesome for you guys, because you're talking to somebody who's not just preaching from a textbook. And Ed and I still make sales. We still regularly will close deals, because we know that when we do, we use it for presentations, we use it for case studies, and it gives us credibility. It helps show that what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, and we still love it. We still get a buzz. I still get a buzz every time I make a sale. I do. It's still great fun. So with that in mind, to support Ed and me and the team, we've got a support team who are awesome. I'm so, proud and honored to have them as part of the team. But everything is measured in the support system. That means that for us, becoming recognized as being supportive is backed up by the fact that we've got this feedback situation where we can use these forms to actually make sure that we are doing what we say we're going to do. Because if we're not supporting our partners, then we haven't got a business. That's what it's all about for us. It's delivering on that promise. And we love it, guys. We do love it, because we're creating tech entrepreneurs. We believe entrepreneurs make the world go around, and every one of our partners is an entrepreneur. And by creating tech entrepreneurs, they can focus on the entrepreneurial stuff. We take care of the tech, and there we go. We've got that perfect relationship again. And as long as you've got a internet connection, a laptop, and a phone, you can work from anywhere in the world. And we've been saying this for years. We've been teaching this way for years, using the internet and using screen shares, etc. But we've proved it in these lockdowns that we've been going through, because everybody's had to embrace this remote working. For us, it came as second nature. And so just to wrap things up, guys, I'm just going to introduce you to some of our partners. Now, I'm not going to play these videos, but please, I recommend that if you're interested in the Blam Partnership, that you take a look. We've got loads and loads of testimonials. If you go to blampartners.com/testimonials, then you'll be able to see these guys, the videos that they've done for us. And Tony, for example, has sent this video. Didn't even ask him to send it, which was awesome of him to send the video. I think he was a children's entertainer before this, wasn't he? He had a party company or something like that. He loves the community. I love Tony, actually. Whenever we do Facebook Live once a week on a Wednesday for the community. He's always the first one there, isn't he? He's a real sort of advocate. He's smashing it at the moment with social media and SEO stuff. Really, really good guy. But the purpose of this part of the presentation for you guys is just to demonstrate that every one of our partners is wildly different. There's no stereotype. What they do have in common is they've all got a desire to help small businesses become successful. They love the idea of running their own digital marketing company, and they're willing to trust us and work with us to help us show them how they can be successful. Sherelle's done that.
By the way, guys, we're nearly at the end here, so thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, so Sherelle, who's been with us a while, one of our top partners, she's got a team behind her now, growing her business rapidly. She was actually scammed when she first started out, so it was a bit sad. There are some unscrupulous people out there, guys. So if you're looking at multiple opportunities, just do your due diligence. Check people out, and just make sure that these people are for real. Because Sherelle did get stung, so when she came to us, she was very wary. But she did what we said. She actually made her full money back in the first month. So, and she's just gone from strength to strength. She's been with us for years now. Great advocate for us. Actually, she was a professional footballer, believe it or not. She still is a professional footballer and international footballer. She plays for Ireland women's team. But great advocate. And then we've got Mike, who Ed's promising to go over and see him because he lives in Florida, and he's got a fantastic place on the Key, isn't he, Florida. And he is a corporate job, so he actually took early redundancy, and he did his due diligence. 2,500 franchises he started off in his list of things that he was looking at, and he whittled them down to us. But again, no marketing background, no sales background, done everything from scratch. Spencer, in fact, it wasn't long after I did this interview with him, which was probably just over a year ago now, that he really started seeing the growth trajectory. He was one of our top partners during the lockdown period. And he's now got a team working with him. And he's really smashing it. No background. He was an IFA. So, no background in marketing or sales. He's just followed the program and he's got the results, as has Matt. Now, Matt's one of our best success stories, I would say, because he was with us for ages and didn't do anything with it. This video tells the story. He was in full-time employment for a long time whilst he was a partner, and that's not uncommon. A lot of people, start their Blam job as their side gig. But when he finally fully embraced it, he's gone from strength to strength, and now he's a proper entrepreneur. That video is worth watching because it's hilarious. And then finally, just gone past it, we've got Sarah, who I had a call with today. Actually, I had a really good call with Sarah. She's got a fantastic niche that she works with. And with Sarah, she posted this at the beginning of lockdown. Now, Sarah has got a couple of children. And at the beginning of lockdown, she said, I have to say, Grant, I'm hugely grateful to Blam for encouraging me to build a business based on a recurring monthly income, as I'm hoping it will help me weather this storm more easily than other businesses. I'm feeling very sorry for lots of people. Now, this is because, she had a couple of kids. She knew she was going to have to homeschool them, but because she had a recurring revenue business, she knew it wasn't going to be desperate for her to make sales during lockdown. And that really sums it up for me. That warms my heart. That's why the MRR, the month recurring revenue, is so key. Let me give you just a quick idea of what that means, but Ed can actually use this tool. We call it an assumptions calculator, to give you an idea about what you could earn based on where you are in the world and what your sort of personal circumstance is. But if you were full-time in the business, what I'd be recommending as a target for you would be to say, right, let's try and sell one website a week. That would be the goal. And that website week, let's say on average, we would take £100 a month for that website is what you'd be charging on a monthly recurring revenue. But also an app might be one of the companies might also have an app, and one of them might have an SEO package. If you did that for 12 months based on the £100 a month, after you've paid us, you'd have a recurring revenue coming into your bank account of £6,600, which is 7,800 euros, over 100,000 rand. It's over 8,200 US dollars, and it's going to be over 10,000 plus Canadian dollars or Australian. And that would be a recurring revenue. And of course, if you did the same again in year 2, you would have double that as a recurring revenue. So in a nutshell, guys, what I'm here to sort of wrap this up with and sort of finish off by saying is that if you've got a Blam business, a digital marketing agency, it's not a get rich quick business. Okay. And the truth is there's no such thing as a get rich quick. The get rich quick guys are the ones that are the ones that are trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or it's 1 in a million. This is just a solid business selling websites. It's a formula that you can use to build up a digital marketing agency where you can have a good solid income that can grow month on month till you get to the point where you'll wake up in the morning and you'll know if you don't make a sale that month, it doesn't matter, because your recurring revenue will cover your overheads and everything else. And you can build on that a business that has got real worth and has got a real, you could even sell it, because a monthly recurring revenue business is worth a lot more than a conventional traditional business. And we can show you how. So thank you for your attention, guys. I'm going to now move on to tell you a little bit more about the partnership program and what it's going to cost and what you get for your money. If you've heard enough and you know, you don't think that Blam is for you, I just want to say thanks for listening. Don't forget, if you're in business, you're in sales. That's the big takeaway. Monthly recurring revenue is the key. You know, that's the thing that's going to keep you recession-proof business. And remember about that blue ocean thinking. Remember, what's your USP? What's your unique selling point? For those of you that are still here, I'm really pleased you're still interested in Blam. So let me tell you a little bit about what's included in our package, and then see if you want to book on with Ed, because what we're offering today in the Blam, in the program, when you sign up with us, is there's an upfront fee that we charge, and for that you get the Blam Partner Certification Program. It's exclusive for Blam partners. You can't get this anywhere else. It's worth over £20,000, and included within it are all the training videos, everything that's in the resource center, all the sales collateral, the website, the branding, the marketing collateral. There's so much included in this package, and you get it all from day one when you first sign up, so that we can help you become that digital marketing consultant using our secret sauce. So the sales, the presentation techniques, all the tools and the assets that you need, everything is in there. It's worth over 20,000. It's included in the package today. Plus, don't forget, you do get access to every single one of the digital marketer training courses. These are worth over £5,000. If you buy them directly from Digital Marketer, that's what it's going to cost. So that makes the partnership course such massive value, because this is the best marketing training on the planet. Plus, don't forget, you do get the Blam Social system to be able to sell that with all the training and the resource center that comes with it. We don't sell that to anybody else but Blam partners, but if we were to sell that as a separate tool, we would sell it for 2,000 plus. At the moment, it is exclusive to Blam partners. Also, you get exclusive access to the management team. Now, this means that me and Ed are there for you throughout your onboarding process. You get access to us via our mobile phones, via our WhatsApp. This really is priceless, because our job is to get you up and cooking as quickly as possible. And having access to that kind of resource really is priceless. And then the accountability program. So once you start trading, you get put into what we call a Blam multi-mind group. Now, I haven't really talked about this, but it is a group of other Blam partners that you get involved with that meet up once a month, so that you can follow their example, learn from each other, you know, celebrate your wins, discuss your challenges, and you're all in it together. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You'll be spending time with other like-minded entrepreneurs on that accountability program. It's worth over £5,000. It's worth its weight in gold. The live training with Grant and Ed. So every week we go live, twice a week in actual fact, doing sales training, doing product launches, doing mentoring, doing presentations, all different things within the Blam universe. Twice a week, you get that every week. Everyone's recorded, put into the resource center. So we are full on, guys, helping you be part of the community, because we've always got to keep learning. Worth well over 5,000, that's included. Plus, we do deals. So every 6 weeks, you'll get a new deal that you can leverage to be able to make more sales. And we brand up that deal. We give you access to it. We're able to put it on your website. You can get all the press releases that goes with it, all the social media images, etc. All of that's included, and you get that all included in the deal. It's worth over £4,000, and that is part of the partnership program. And then finally, you get the do it for you, which means that this month only, we are throwing in the do it for you package. And that means that we will design all of your websites and apps included for free for 6 months. Now, if you were to send that out to other freelancers like Ed used to do, you're going to be spending a lot of money on freelancers. And this is what a lot of the consultants do on a daily basis. With us, the whole back office is there for you, and you get that included in the deal for 6 months, worth over £48,000 if you were to sell the amount of websites and apps that I talked about in the last slide. So let's just stack all that value up with the full certification, everything that comes with it, the digital marketer courses, the Blam social, the exclusive access to the management team, the accountability program, the live training twice a week, the access to the deals, plus the do it for you. That means our back office. We add all that up together. The value is amazing. It's over £90,000 worth of value. That's 130 US or over 2 million rand. It's over 100k in euros, and Australian and Canadian dollars, it's over 160k. So we're so proud of the amount of value that we can deliver. And of course, you've probably seen the investment that we're asking for. In March, we've actually got a deal that we're doing, and this deal is quite an impressive one. So we are knocking off a full £3,000 from the upfront price, which is 15,000. So that means it brings the price down to just under £12,000, which in the US that's 16.5. In Canada that's 21,000. In euros it's 14. In rand that's 250. And in Australia that's 21. But not only that, we're including the do it for you for 6 months. So you're saving another 1,500 on top of that, because there's going to be no fees for 6 months. And that really does give you the time to get up and cooking. Now we're limited for 5 slots. We sell 6 a month. We've sold 1 already. So 6 a month is the cap. And the reason for that, guys, is quite simple, is that Ed and I are very hands-on, and we've only got really capacity for 6 a month. So when those slots are gone. When we do a deal like this, typically the slots go pretty quickly. So if you want to reserve your spot, the next step really is to get on a demo with Ed. That demo with Ed is where you can find out more. If after that demo you're really interested in what is we've got to offer, that's when we can start thinking about getting you locked in by signing the proposal. We also at that point will be talking about the deal. Now, for some people, the upfront fee might not be affordable in one lump sum, and there are plenty of different options and different ways that we can get that payment taken care of. Not least of all, if you're in the UK, we've got a really popular and successful startup loan scheme. That means we can spread the cost over 5 years, which makes it really affordable. But not only that, we've got other deals that we can do for people overseas, as well as other people that we can put you in touch with in terms of funding and grants and whatnot. But most important thing for us is that you're really keen on becoming a Blam partner. Then we'll do what we can to find a way to make it happen, because as soon as we've received the payment that locks you into the system, the onboarding begins and you could be trading within 2 weeks. So if you throw yourself into the training, it literally could be you up and cooking with your own business within 2 weeks. The average is about 30 days, but it very much depends on you, the time that you have available to you, and the effort and energy that you put into the training. So I really thank you for your time and attention. Now is the time for questions, and happy to answer whatever it is that you'd like to ask.
Thanks, Grant. Thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you guys for sticking around for the Q&A. I'm just going to wrap up the recording, so stick around. So if you're watching this on the recording, guys, thank you very much for sticking out to the end. We're now going to go on a live Q&A, which is only really if you attend live. So yeah, there's always going to be the next one, but for now, see you very soon, and good to see you here. If you want to stick around for a Q&A, we'll do that right now. So feel free to unmute your mics, guys.